Okay, so we'll continue from where we stopped. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Verse 11. श्रीबादरायणीर्वाच कर्मणा कर्मनिर्हारो न ह्यात्यन्तिकैष्यते अविद्वद् अधिकारित्वात् प्रायश्चित्तं विमर्शनम्. Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vedavyasa, answered, My dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious actions are also fruitive, they will not release one from the tendency to act fruitively. Persons who subject themselves to the rules and regulations of atonement are not at all intelligent. Shukadeva Goswami is now confirming Parikshit Maharaj's conclusion. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless because this will not uproot one's desires. Thus, even though one may superficially seem pious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. So now from one test to another test. Sukadeva Goswami is saying here, yes, you are right. Please note this. Acts meant to neutralize impious actions are also fruitive. So they will not release one from the tendency to act fruitively. So which means that by doing atonement, prayashchitta, the tendency to sin will not go because it doesn't uproot one's desires. This is very, very important. Hmm. It doesn't uproot one's desires. It doesn't uproot one's tendency to enjoy, one's tendency to sin. It just releases us from that particular, maybe the result of that action. That's all. But then we'll continue to sin or act impiously. So people who are engaged in such prayaschitta, they may superficially seem pious, meaning they're going to temple, they're doing some puja, they're doing this, doing that, but undoubtedly they're prone to act impiously. So now Shukadeva Goswami is recommending another path. He's saying real atonement is jnana, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. The Guru Shukadeva Goswami has examined Parikshit Maharaj and it appears that the king has passed one phase of the examination by rejecting the process of atonement because it involves fruitive activities. Now, Shukadeva Goswami is suggesting the platform of Jnana. Progressing from Karma Kanda to Gnana Kanda, he is proposing Prayashchittam Vimarshanam. Real atonement is full knowledge. Vimarshana refers to the cultivation of speculative knowledge. Gnana. In Bhagavad Gita, karmis who are lacking in knowledge are compared to asses. He says, Namam dushkritino mudaha prapadyante naradamaha mayaparhata asuram bhavam ashritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, mudha, lowest among mankind, naradama, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, maya aparatagna, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, asuram bhavam ashritaha, namam dushkritino, namam, they don't surrender unto me, namam prapadyante, they do not surrender unto me. Thus, karmis who engage in sinful acts and who do not know the true objective of life are called mudas, asses. Vimarshana, however, is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Vedescha sarver ahameva vedya. The purpose of Vedic study is to understand the Supreme Lord. One studies Vedanta but merely advances somewhat in speculative knowledge. Somewhat. What is that somewhat? Meaning they understood something but they did not understand the Supreme Lord. One remains the same mudha. In Bhagavad Gita, see so many Bhagavad Gita references, we can understand how important Bhagavad Gita is for our spiritual life. 7.19. One attains real knowledge when he understands Krishna and surrenders unto him. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante Gnanaman Mam Prapadyate. Become learned and free from material contamination. Therefore, one should try to understand Krishna, for thus one is immediately liberated from all pious and activities and their reactions. Now, one should try to understand Krishna, for thus one is immediately liberated from all pious and impious activities and their reactions also. What are the words in Bhagavad Gita for this? Anybody?
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य प्रभुजी
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम
Janma karma cha me divyam. So both actually, some sense, but janma karma cha me divyam. Because if you try to understand Krishna, evam yogeti tattvataha tyaktva punarjanma mameti naiti. So he will not take birth again. That means he is liberated from all his reactions, right? Of course, when we are in touch with Krishna, we become free from all pious and impious activity. That is a part of Bhakti. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, by presenting a conclusion, Shukadeva again tests Parikshit, who has passed the test. By atonement, there cannot be complete destruction of the sin. This is the most important. But only quick relief because of the condition of the jiva who is ignorant. Sin appears repeatedly because of the presence of the seed of sin. The whole point. Atonement will not remove the seed of sin. The seed of sin has to be removed for one to stop acting impiously. नाश्नतपथ्यमेवान्नं व्याधयोऽभिभवन्ति हि एवं नियमकृत राजन् शनैः क्षेमाय कल्पते. My dear king, if a deceased person eats the pure uncontaminated food prescribed by a physician, he is gradually cured and the infection of disease can no longer touch him. Similarly, if one follows the regulative principles of knowledge, he gradually progresses towards liberation from material contamination. So, Sukadeva Goswami is further substantiating the path of jnana. One is gradually purified if one cultivates knowledge even through mental speculation and strictly follows the regulative principles enjoined in the Shastras and explained in the next words. So, not just cultivating knowledge, when we cultivate knowledge, we also have to follow some regulative principles along with that. Therefore, the platform of jnana, speculative knowledge, is better than the platform of karma. Because in the platform of karma, there are no regulative principles. It's just prayashtita, some karma kanda, some puja, sacrifice, blah, and then back to normal. But in jnana, at least they're trying to cultivate knowledge, and also there is some strict following of regulative principles. It's better. There is every chance of falling from the platform of karma to hellish conditions. But on the platform of jnana, one is saved from hellish life. Although one is still not completely free from the infection. One is saved from hellish life in the sense that, by following all these regulative principles, etc. But this is artificial control. So they might be protected much better than karma. The difficulty is that on the platform of jnana, one thinks that he has been liberated and has become Narayana or Bhagavan. So this is another problem. This is another phase of ignorance. So Prabhupada is saying by the path of jnana, maybe one can become saved from hellish life, but he thinks that he is equal to Bhagavan. येने रविन्दाक्ष विमुक्तमानिनस् त्वयस्तु भावाद विशुद्ध बुद्धयः आरुह्य कृच्छ्रेण परं पदं तत पतन्त्यदो नादृत युष्मदङ्ग्रयः. Because of ignorance, one speculatively thinks himself liberated from material contamination, although actually he is not. Therefore, even if one rises to Brahma Jnana, understanding of Brahman, one nevertheless falls down because of not taking shelter. So here, Avishuddha Buddhayaha, Yene Aravindaksha Vimukta Manina. So very nice. Aravindaksha, where is that? Rampadam. Anadrita, Yushma Dangreya. This is the important part. Patanti adaha means they fall down. Why? Because anadrita yushmat angrayaha. Yushmat means your Krishna. Because they neglect or they don't respect your lotus feet. This is the main problem actually. Why Gyanis fall down from the exalted position of Brahman? Because their intelligence is not purified. They are Avishuddha Buddhaya. And they reach the Parampadam by undergoing severe austerities. Krichrena, Aruhya, like they climb up to Parampadam. But Patanti Adaha. Why? Anadrita Yushmatangrayaha. Very, very important. Don't have respect to the lotus feet of the Lord, which means that we don't serve Him in devotion, then however big position we might get, just fall down because of not taking shelter of the lotus feet. Nonetheless, Gnanis at least know what is sinful and what is pious, and they very cautiously act according to the injunctions of Shastras. So this is definitely better than Karmis. Gnani's position is much better than Karmis, but because of this one fault, that they think they have become Narayana, so they don't respect the lotus feet of Narayana. So they fall down. तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण शमेन च दमेन च त्यागेन सत्यशौचाभ्यां यमेन नियमेन वा देहवाग्बुद्धिजं धीरा धर्मज्ञा श्रद्धयान्विताः क्षिपन्त्यघं महदपि वेणुकुल्मं इवानलः. So this is what this is the process they follow. Concentrate the mind. One must observe a life of celibacy. First is celibacy and not fall down. So brahmacharya. First is tapasya, then brahmacharya, shama, control mind, dhamma, control senses, tyagena, voluntarily giving charity, satya, shaucha. Shaucha means cleanliness, which is achieved by following regulative principles to keep oneself internally and externally. Yamena is okay. Yama niyama is so by avoiding cursing and violence, Prabhupada is translated. Yamena, regularly chanting the holy name. This Prabhupada's life moves it to bhakti. So following certain rules. Dehavag Buddhism, performed by words. Dhiraha, those who are sober. Dharmagnaha, those who understand dharma. Dayanmitaha, those who are faithful. Kshipanti Agam, they destroy all kinds of sinful activities. So by so much of austerity, see, control of mind, tapasya, brahmacharya, control mind, control senses, give charity, be truthful, clean, non-violent, follow regulative principles. Thus, a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principles is temporarily purified of all sins. These sins are like the dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree, which may be burned by fire, although their roots remain to grow again. This is Prabhupada's explanation. So he's bringing out the secret. So though this is like the dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo, still the roots remain. Roots have not been burnt. Which means after all these difficulties, still there is no guarantee of complete liberation at all. Tapa, complete control of mind and senses and their complete concentration on one kind of activity is called tapa. Prabhupada is now saying our Krishna conscious movement is teaching how to concentrate the mind on devotional service. This is first class tapa. Brahmacharya has 8 aspects. Okay, men have to note this. One should not think of women, speak about sex life, dally with women, look lustfully at women, talk intimately with women, or decide to engage in sexual intercourse. Nor should one endeavor for sex life or engage in sex life. All the best. One should not even think of women or look at them, to say nothing of talking with them. This is called first class brahmacharya. Nowadays, actually, in ISKCON, there is a lot of, because people have not read these purports of Prabhupada. So generally, these things are opposed. Actually, here, talk intimately when or decide to engage in sexual one should not should one endeavor for sex life. So then this means that even with one's wife, this is only for production of children, so not for any other enjoyment. If brahmachari or sannyasi talks with a woman in a secluded place, naturally there will be possibility of sex life without anyone's knowledge. Therefore, a complete brahmachari practice is just the opposite. One is a perfect brahmachari, he can very easily control the mind and senses, give charity, speak truthfully, and so forth. To begin, however, one must control the tongue and the process of eating. This is Jnana Marga. In Bhakti Marga, one must strictly follow the regulative principles by controlling the tongue. The tongue can be controlled if one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, does not speak of any subject other than those concerning Krishna, does not taste anything not offered to Krishna. If one can control the tongue in this way, brahmacharya and purifying process will automatically follow. Meaning, automatically follow means that it will become easy. It will become easy, but still there is effort. It will be explained in the next verse that the path of devotion service is completely perfect and is therefore superior to the path of fruitive activities and path of knowledge. Quoting from the Vedas, Sri Veera Raghava Acharya explains that austerity involves observing fast as fully as possible. Sri Rupa Goswami has also advised that atyahara, too much eating, is an impediment. Please note, for those who are stuck with this, overeating, even prasadam, is not conducive for spiritual growth. Ahara viharasya yukta chesta yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. He who is temperate, moderate, temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing. Text 14, the word dhiraha, meaning those who are undisturbed under all circumstances. Significant. Tam stitikshasu bharata mantras parshastu. So one has to tolerate, not become disturbed. This is very important actually. We are faced with so many difficulties. But one has to tolerate without being disturbed. And I'm seeing this as a live example how my mother is struggling in her old age because she did not understand much of spiritual life and but I should say housewife. So not very philosophically oriented or wanting to understand anything serious. Right? Now, because her body is troubling her, she doesn't understand that we can't change it. As in, still is trying to get her body fixed. And she doesn't, no tolerance, no mental strength, no physical strength. Old age is very, very difficult.
Yeah, I am experiencing the same thing with my in-laws in the family.
And I'm
Not
saying,
at all interested in anything related to Krishna consciousness.
yeah, and
They're simply passing their time, old age,
yeah,
with pain and suffering.
and even if you tell them saying that okay, your pain, you have to just tolerate, even that they can't understand that we have to tolerate. Their thought process is that somehow we have to find a cure, find some solution, right? So it's very difficult if you are not exposed to the to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness earlier on, and if we don't wholeheartedly accept it, we will struggle. We might be chanting, poor thing, really, I feel sorry for my mother. She chants, she chants almost 40 rounds. She's trying to do devotion, but just because she didn't wholeheartedly accept it, she's struggling. She's not able to understand today because now her, brain power has reduced. So we all have to understand one thing, that body, as we grow, body is going to crumble. Bodily strength is going to go. The only thing that can help us is the mental strength that we have got by Krishna consciousness, by strictly following Krishna consciousness. Which is what Krishna says, Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmanam. So, by devotional service, by spiritual strength, for us, mental strength means spiritual strength because mind, again, just mental strength, which is not the spiritual, not based on spirituality, can also fail. It's the only process for us is to actually strictly and seriously surrender. Otherwise, if today we don't tolerate, just imagine today we possibly can tolerate. We have the strength, possibly, physical and mental strength today because of our younger age. Just age matters so much that we just lose all ability to all strength. Very, very difficult. So we have to, like there's no other option. Please understand this. And as we grow old, it's going to become more difficult. So we better learn tolerance without being disturbed from one. And Krishna actually is so merciful. He's giving us small, small situations right now to help us, to train us. Unfortunately, what we are thinking, oh, small, small problems, I will try to find solution. When big problems come, I will tolerate. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Right? Actually, we should learn to apply this tolerance in small, small things. Somebody shouted at us, tolerate. Somebody said something that we didn't like, tolerate. Some little problem comes, tolerate. But if we don't do this, I see like devotees can't sit without fan for 5 minutes. It's very hot. And their whole consciousness is on the fan. See, this is very, very important. If suppose say by whatever divine arrangement, for some reason we are not getting access to fan, it's fine. Unless somebody has a serious health problem, right? Somebody has serious health problems with too much of heat. Okay, they should not unnecessarily put themselves through some austerity which is going to trouble them more. But for healthy people, we should just tolerate. We should just tolerate. Small, small things. Krishna is giving us opportunity through very small, small situations to train us. We have to see this, otherwise it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And of course, if we don't tolerate this, we cannot make advancement. Why can't we make an advancement if we can't tolerate? Anybody wants to answer this? Actually very important.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think this is because our consciousness shifts, yeah, apart from Krishna to that circumstance.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's correct. So what is our goal? Our goal is to achieve Krishna, right? Now, in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what does Arjuna ask Krishna? There are so many verses about one topic. Last part of second chapter, anybody knows? Anybody remembers? What is Arjuna asking? And then Krishna speaks a series of verses.
Is it about Sthita Prajna?
Sorry?
Is it about Sthita Prajna?
Yeah, Sthita Prajna. So Arjuna is asking Sthita Prajnasya ka bhacha samadhistasya kechava Sthita git kim pravasheta kim asita vadeta kim. So he's asking, who is this Sthita Prajna? Because Krishna just told in the previous verse saying that you will achieve divine consciousness. Arjuna is like asking for on our behalf, saying that what are the characteristics of this Sthita Prajna? And we should read that. Okay, let me spend some reading this Sthita Prajna verses. Actually, first time I read, I was thinking, saying that why Krishna is talking about such a high, topic. Right in the beginning. Arjuna Vacha. So here in the previous verse, Yogam avapsyasi, Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala, samadho vachala buddhis, tada yogam avapsyasi. So Prabhupada translated as you attain divine consciousness. So then Arjuna is asking, what are these qualities? Reading the qualities to the verses. So Bhagavan is saying, when a man gives up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, And what is the sense gratification? They just arise from mental concoction. Can somebody explain what this means? Sense gratification arises from mental concoction means what? Simply, very easily to understand.
Mind is always aspiring to something or the other, so there is
No,
always a
simple,
mental
simple,
conflict.
simple. Mind will just say, this is nice for me. I just think this is nice for me. That's all. It's as simple as that, right? The mind is just thinking, saying that, okay, this is good for me. And why is it good for me? Because it's going to give me some happiness. So this is all just the mind. If we train the mind to say, no, this is not good for me, then the same situation we will not want. For example, before coming to Krishna conscious, mind was saying, drink coffee, drink tea. Now mind is saying, don't drink. So the same thing which was actually giving us sense gratification, happiness, now we stop. So Krishna is saying, man has to give up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which is all only mental concoction, whatever it is. Be it connected to the body, be it connected to family, be it connected to anything in this world, is just simply mental concoction. It's just an imagination that it's good for me. And when his mind is thus purified by what? By giving up all desires, mind becomes purified, not by fulfilling those desires. He finds satisfaction in self. Very importantly, he is not disturbed even amidst threefold miseries or related when there is happiness. And he is free from raga, bhaya, krodha. He is not disturbed again. Here he is not disturbed by happiness and misery. Here he is not disturbed by good and evil. He may obtain neither praising it nor despising it. It's the same thing but said in a different way. He withdraws his senses and only uses them when required. Senses are strong. They forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination. It's endeavoring to control them. But what does a Sthita Prajna do? Tani sarvani samyama. He still controls them, keeping them under full control. Yukta asita. This is the important point. That he fixes his consciousness on me. So unless, even in this Sthita Prajna state, unless we are in connection with Krishna, we cannot control. And yeah, this we know Dhyayato. When we contemplate on the sense object, then we are gone, we fall. If you simply contemplate, if you give your mind 20 seconds, 10 seconds on any material object, you're gone. Mostly. So the most important thing here is that we have to remain undisturbed. And this is important because if we don't remain undisturbed and tolerate situations, we won't come to Brahma Bhuta. If we don't come to Brahma Bhuta, we won't get to the body. We can't achieve prema. Right? So if we don't tolerate, we cannot go past Brahma Bhuta. And if we can't go past Brahma Bhuta, we can't achieve. Is this clear? And one who has learned to tolerate these disturbances under all circumstances.
Prabhuji, can you please repeat, Prabhuji? Why we cannot progress without that?
If we don't tolerate, that means sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Sama dukkha sukha. Actually, in the 12th chapter, so many things, Bhagavad Gita is just like so beautiful. There's one word. For that word. See here, anapeksha sutir daksha udasina. Udasina. You know what this udasina means? What is the meaning of udasina?
Without
Interested, Prabhuji.
Yeah, uninterested. What is he uninterested about? His own body, his own situations. He doesn't care. He is free from all pains. He is very dear to me. So please read this also, this 12th chapter. I'm making a list of verses that we should be prioriting in Bhagavad Gita. I'll share. Now these verses should be like top of our mind. Without cares, this word, when I first read it, I just I just couldn't understand. Saying that, what does this mean? And my mind was like, my intelligence was not ready to accept. Saying that, how can I just not care? How can I just not care about my body? So we have to be without cares, meaning not get too affected by these things. Okay, whatever is there. So if we don't tolerate, if we don't remain undisturbed, we will not come to Brahma Bhuta, or on our bhakti path, after Anartha Nivritti, there is a stage called Nishtha. So this tolerance is the process of Anartha Nivritti, meaning there are anarthas are really troubling us, but we have to tolerate them. Then we come to what is called as Nishtha. After all the anarthas, majority of the anarthas are gone, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, we come to a stage called Nishtha. Nishtha means fixed devotional service, meaning irrespective of what my life situation is, my bhakti will not get affected. Fixed, same schedule, same mode, or it's just going on increasing. Comes that Nishtha is the stage of Brahma Bhuta, meaning liberation. So till anarthas go, we are going to face troubles. We are going to be troubled. And we have to tolerate them. Okay. So if we tolerate, then we can overcome our anarthas, work hard with utsaha, nishtaya, dharya to overcome anarthas. Then we come to nishtha, which is actually liberation. Then only we can go on to asakti, ruchi, asakti, etc. Is this clear?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So we should stop complaining. What should we stop? We should stop complaining about our problems. And we should start to tolerate them. Please write this down, especially those who are, and every different devotees will be going through different difficulties. So you can just make this note. And accept life's troubles, don't complain. So we should accept it as Krishna's mercy, that I discussed yesterday. So accept life's troubles as Krishna's mercy, don't, and tolerate. Tolerate and don't complain. If we can't get past this stage, there is no way we can come to Krishna Prem, because that's only halfway through our different stages of bhakti. We've just done Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. That's all we are in. And we are in the process of Anartha Nivritti. And only if we are able to tolerate, then we come to Nishtha. Then only higher real bhakti will start. Real bhakti. Now it's just like practice sessions. We're practicing to do bhakti. But real bhakti will start only after Nishtha. Because what does Rupa Goswami says? Anyamila Ashita Shunyam Dana Karma Dana Anukulyena Ahituki Apratihata. Right? Ahituki Apratihata. Ahituki, without any cause, Apratihata, without disturbance. That is Nishtha. So really we will start serious bhakti only at Nishtha. And to come to that is a lot of effort. If you do casual bhakti, we can't get there. Okay. So tolerate life's situations. Don't complain. Accept it as Krishna's mercy. Don't complain, tolerate. This is a sutra. We can write, we can add one more to our list of sutras. This is very, very important. Okay, so let me just read what. Yeah, nothing different. No, Chakravarti. So we'll stop here. Are there any questions? Anything? Anybody? And voluntarily, for those who are fortunate not to have major troubles in life, please voluntarily take austerities. Is that okay? Any questions? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, how much ever I listen to all these classes, when such provoking situations come, I feel like replying back to how to control it, Prabhuji.
Write this, whatever you are, feel good about when you hear, please make a note, write it down on a A4 size paper and stick it in front of your kitchen counter or your book table or wherever. It's very, very important. You know, I've been telling this multiple times. I don't know how many of you have been doing. This has been my biggest help in my own life, is to make these A4 size sheets. It really makes a difference. You know, try this. I don't know, maybe you're not able to appreciate it, but just write down those things which actually, you know, when you hear, you feel like, yes, okay, I should follow this. You know, write it down on a piece of, on a A4 paper, you know, a big, okay, you don't want to make it public, fine, you keep it private, keep it within your wardrobe or somewhere, you know, if you're concerned, but make sure that you keep staring at it. You know what I do, that I used to do that before. Now I have a notepad. Okay. And I have, it's called myanarthas.txt. And I have all those things that I need to be focusing on. So there are about 10, 12 points that I'm working on myself for my own spiritual, right? And I have a notepad. So what do I do whenever I open my laptop, because I'm mostly on my laptop? So I at least try to read them once during the day. And it makes a huge difference. Anybody who is struggling with any aspect of your devotion for which you have found answers in Prabhupada's books, in his purports, make a note of those. And yeah, it doesn't have to be 100 things, right? It can be top 1, 2, 3. It'll make a big difference.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'll definitely try this, Prabhu.
Anything else? Anybody?
Hare
Okay, so
Krishna, Prabhu.
yeah.
For me, at least, I mean, note it down. I mean, when I listen to this, note it down is one thing, and second thing is I feel these concepts, like in reality, it's very difficult when being with the family.
No, they're not. They're not. See, when we start off on this thinking that whatever Prabhupada has written is not practical for me, then we are starting off on the wrong foot. Prabhupada is
Now, I
writing.
don't say it's not practical, but it is very difficult.
It's fine. That's fine. No, that is why we are here in this material. I'm not letting you complete your statement because I don't want you to register these things. See, it is difficult. Otherwise, you know, what is the point? That's the whole point. If it was so easy, then we would have just not done anything. Right? So it is difficult. Yes. And let's put effort. Let's put sincere effort. Let's depend on Krishna. Let's depend on Prabhupada. Let's put effort. But if our, see, whenever you please understand this, everybody, you know, whenever we hear something and our mind says, but that means we are not going to follow. We're not going to even try. So please keep this but away. But this English word but. No, this but actually means that I just don't want. I said something, but I just actually don't. I'm not convinced by it. So sorry, Ankita Mataji, I'm being a bit harsh here because I've gone through this.
Not at
I've
all.
gone through these situations in my life, right? Wherein Prabhupada has said something, but I'm somehow not able to understand or accept it fully. And again, I'm just saying, yeah, like this, without cares. You know, I justify my thinking, saying, oh, Krishna is saying without cares, but I can't follow this. Now, after 10 years, I'm coming to the same statement. If at all, if I had wanted to understand and accept it 10 years back, my bhakti would have been somewhere else. right? But it took me 10 years to understand what that without care means. You understand? So we should not say but. We should just say, okay, oh, this is something that I didn't know. Okay, let me make a note. And in that, you might have 100 things that you have to implement in your life. Pick 1, 2, 3 things. But don't use the word but. We have to put effort. There is no other option. We are trying to achieve Krishna, not some promotion in this material world, not some money in this material world, not some mundane achievement. We are trying to achieve Krishna. It's absolutely not a joke. Absolutely not a joke. I mean, when we look at Krishna, we might feel, oh, Krishna is accessible, Krishna is available. It looks like it's easy to achieve Krishna, but it's not. It's easy yet difficult. It's easy if our mind is under our control. Unbridled mind is very difficult. Uncontrolled mind, very difficult. Okay, so just hear Shastra and say, okay, I need to try this. That has to be our approach. That is why we require enthusiasm and determination and patience. Daha Nishchaya Dhairya. This is also one permanent sutra. Never forget this any time in your life. Utsaha, enthusiasm, Nishchaya, determination, Dhairya, patience. Okay, anything else? I say anything else, and when somebody starts saying something, then I snub them. Just that, some things I just don't want. It's like trying to pluck it out from the root. Then I don't let you speak. That's all. There's no other intention. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and
Yeah.
Prabhuji, when it comes to people, like uh, be it inside the community or outside the like in our regular daily life, people we meet. So, like how to deal with people in terms when we are actually practicing Krishna consciousness. This is something I always wondering, uh, like whom to keep away, or whom to uh, even get along with, or so. This is one question I
Materially, we
had
should
always in
not
my
get.
mind.
Materially, we should not get along with anybody. Materially, we are just doing it whatever as bare minimum as required to get our work done. That's all. Bare minimum interactions with material people. Whatever is just bare minimum required. Like if I go to a shop, will I go start talking about his life history? No, I will just say, okay, I want this, I take that. I have to talk to that person. I might have to ask him 2 questions if I want some clarification about something. I just take that and come. That's all. What more should I engage, associate with that person for? So just keep it. There is nobody in this material world with whom you should try to build any kind of relationship except devotees, right? They're just bare minimum. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
This
Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, you actually mentioned that, like, if there are no problems, like, do more of austerity. So,
Yes.
could you elaborate more on that, Prabhu?
Yeah. For example, getting up early, that's just going out of your comfort zone, whatever I've been saying. Because those people who have troubles, they already have enough on their hand. So for them, it's more difficult to come out of their comfort zone, pick up, so they have more work for themselves. But those who don't seem to have anything major in your life, everything seems to be going fine, take up some austerity. Like, for example, going out for book distribution every week, for example, might be an austerity. Apart from your regular sadhana that you're doing, and even in that, for example, right, see, you are comfortably sleeping at 10 o'clock, getting up 4:35, maybe you can push it back by 15 minutes. So like this, increase, anything that you're doing which can, so there's anything that you can do to improve your Krishna consciousness, which might seem like a difficulty for you, take that up. Because that is tapasya. Is that clear?
Understood, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
once in the class you said when we use the word but, that means there is a question mark.
Yeah.
Prabhupada has never used button if in any of his thing. His instructions are very clear, very this thing.
Yeah, thank you.
I fail theoretically, do understand quite. I don't say I mean I understand.
You
But
understand quite a lot.
when we come to practicality, Prabhu,
Yeah.
I've been a big failure. And I have been a failure because we've got no other option but to cope. But then that question mark again, you'll say if buts. To cope is very difficult. I mean, last 1 year has been difficult. Like, I mean, when I see it with my sister, her husband went into coma. She lost her only grandson. She lost her brother. Some people break. Some break. Her Krishna consciousness is becoming stronger. But Prabhu, it's difficult. It is difficult. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds. When there is no cure, you just have to endure.
Endure, yeah. It's
You
difficult.
just have to endure.
Yeah,
There is no option.
Krishna consciousness is easy. That's why I said it's easy. Prabhupada says Susukham. It's easy if you just surrender to the process.
Yes, Prabhu. Like only if your Krishna consciousness becomes stronger and you take it with it, you survive. Otherwise, we've seen many who break.
Yeah.
And I see it with my sister. Her Krishna consciousness has increased.
Yeah.
I've seen so many who break, and I'm on the borderline. I mean, it's not an open ground to speak this. Thankfully I have support of Ankul Prabhu. He tells me, see, this is life. It's your karma. You have to take it.
It's not our karma. It's not our.
So no. I mean, what?
Yesterday I explained this.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yesterday I explained this. See, please, initiated devotees. I mean, of course, the others have to come to that state. But initiated devotees who have come to Krishna consciousness and have remained in Krishna consciousness. Please always remember, it's not our karma phala. Krishna is just trying to help us overcome our frailties, our weaknesses, so that we can go to Him. He's just mercifully helping us up. Because when we think about this as our karma, we think, oh, how much more suffering is there? There's hopelessness in the thought process, right? But when we understand, saying, no, it's actually Krishna's mercy, then we know as soon as I get over this, it's gone. I have to just get over my weakness and I have to put a little bit effort for that. And Krishna is doing the heavy lifting. Please understand this. Krishna is doing the heavy lifting. All we have to do is agree to just put a little effort. It's very, very small. Actually, the price that we are paying for all the nonsense that we have done in our past lives is very, very little. Because Krishna is so merciful. These things, I mean, again, I want these things to register because it has taken me so much time, so much suffering to actually come to this stage of realization. It's taken me effort. And I want these things to, spoon feed. I'm spoon feeding these. Right? So that, other devotees don't have to go through the same trouble. It's processed food. Otherwise called realization. Okay. So if we understand and accept this, it will make our life easier. All we have to do is make up little mind to put little effort in that direction and pray for mercy from Krishna, and Krishna will give us mercy. So merciful. Okay. Okay. Should we stop?
Yes,
yeah. Okay. So we'll stop here.
Krishna Prabhu,
yeah.
If it is time up, we can take it tomorrow. No issue.
Tell me, Mataji.
Prabhu, if we have some physical pain,
yeah,
then how do we understand that? Like Krishna's mercy, yes, we should, but what do we learn from it? Like if
tolerance, because when we are dying, we are not going to be without pain, right? If you have to remember Krishna, then we have to remember Krishna now when we have pain.
Understood. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll conclude here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
If I ask you to take care of, are you
Just
Krishna. Thank you,
one thing.